Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finally named Balls Deep Sports Radio. We've got my main man
Hey,
Sean with me here. Sean, say
what
what's up.
up?
There he is. And you guys probably won't recognize our recurring guest, Nate Dogg himself is here.
What's up?
Yo, there it is. It's the first time I've seen that face since I hit puberty, I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen you without a beard, man.
Yeah, it's well, I think that beard was going on 8 or 9 months. I can't
Woo!
exactly remember, but
Without
Nice, dude.
seeing a pair of scissors, huh?
well, so just a little off topic here before you dive in. My trimmer decided to stop working in the middle of it, so I had to play a hack a forest on my face with a razor.
Ooh, that had to be
Damn,
fun, man.
that sucks.
45 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
So
Damn.
Oh,
yeah,
Well,
but
I don't envy you on that. We're on opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm finally getting my beard back.
they
Yeah.
I'm surprised they let you. Although I guess you don't deal with people, so.
Oh, yeah, no, I have serious beard envy every day at work, to be honest. Some legit. I work with a dude who looks like a taller James Harden.
Oh wow.
Crazy beard. And then I've got Brian Wilson in my near my cube as well. That dude's got like his beard's the kind where you can't see his lips. Like you don't know if he has teeth really. Yeah. It's legit. Well,
That's what's
playoff
up.
beards aside, we've got some interesting stuff to go on tonight. Uh, Anybody listening last week heard Sean and I draft our top 5 NBA teams of all time. Nathan, you missed it. I am going to try to pull the notes out here, honestly, because I want to go over this 5 real quick before we go over our new rules. Where was this page? Uh, Sean, do you remember? Oh, no. I must not have jotted it down in this notebook. I really thought that I did. But, Sean, what's
yeah,
what's your recollection level of last week? Oh, I got it. Actually, I got it. I lied to myself.
nice.
All right, so quick breakdown, Nathan. This is how it went last week. Sean had Magic Johnson at the 1, Iverson at the 2, Larry Bird at 3, Gnarls Barkley at 4, Wilt Chamberlain 5, Jesus Shuttlesworth coming off the bench,
Who?
Ray Allen off the bench, and Pat Riley as his head coach.
Okay.
So what I ended up with was Isaiah Thomas at the 1, Michael Jordan at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Tim Duncan at the 4, and Kareem at the 5. Coming off the bench for me was Scottie Pippen, and Greg Popovich was my coach.
Okay, that's
No,
pretty good.
so no pressure, but who do you think wins?
Okay, at the 1 here, I gotta go with some white dude, Jim. Not Jim. God, why did I say?
Oh, wait. No. We're gonna do a draft here of our own in a second, the three of
Okay.
us. I just want to know who you thought would win between Sean and I's team because we clearly are split on
Oh,
that.
that's my bad for misunderstanding that. I
Oh
gotta
no,
go
you're
with.
good. I just wanted to stop you before you gave me part of your strategy.
Okay, I gotta go. Good thing I said Jim then, because that's not gonna give away. I gotta go with. I gotta go with Kevin's team there, especially having two, Jordan and LeBron there, and
Right.
Right.
Tim Duncan nonetheless.
Well, it was. I'm trying to think. Well, Sean, you had the first pick, right?
I did, yeah.
Sean went
I
with
want,
Larry Legend number 1. And so the way we did it last time, it was not positionless basketball. So you could only take the one small forward. So it just
Okay.
kind of, him taking Larry is what gave me the advantage because I went immediately with MJ. And then I knew I could just wait till the end to pick LeBron because he wasn't going anywhere. So it was kind of unfair. And for that reason, for this draft, we've decided to handicap no Michael Jordan. He's the only guy off limits. Just to make it a little more fun.
Okay.
Now, I will say, Sean, see if you back me up on this. I'm cool with giving Nathan the first pick in this.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you go number 2, and I'll go third because I'm the one who has to write all this shit down.
I felt it. That's cool.
So, Nate, it's positionless ball, man. No worries. Just take whoever you want. We're gonna go 5 starters, 1 reserve, and a coach. You can just go ahead and save the coach for last.
All right. I gotta go with my first pick being Tim Duncan.
Timmy. All right. So, Sean, he was off the clock quick. What you got for me?
I think I'm gonna go Chase Budinger, dude.
My boy.
My first pick.
My boy. But
Yeah, there.
being the commissioner that I am, I think I'm gonna have to treat you like the Lakers and say that shit ain't gonna fly.
I felt it, dude.
Kevy don't play that. No.
That is true.
In all fair, Chase Budinger. I know you did that just to piss me off. That's the only reason I'm provoking it, because I believe you actually have somebody else you probably want to draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay true to my roots and go with Larry Legend.
Larry.
Solid freaking choice right there.
Oh, you guys put me on the spot here. But because it is, as I've emphasized too many times now, positionless basketball, you know where I'm going number 1.
Oh, you're going big, dude.
Well, no, I'm going King James.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because name one of the 5 positions I can't play him at. Theoretically, you know?
True.
Like, which one of you guys is going to have Magic? Honestly, Timmy, okay, I don't want LeBron on Timmy, but as it stands right now, you know, I would even deal with that if I had to.
I feel it.
So, I'm loving it, but Nate, let's see if you can put some pressure on us. Ooh, I think there's a ghost behind you.
Nah, there wasn't. Nice try, though.
You just got creepy doors in your house as is, huh?
I guess. Although I'm not going to be here much longer.
Don't tell the ghost that.
Oh, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go with, Bill Russell.
Ooh, Billy!
Nice, dude. Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tough. I'll switch it up a little bit and go Shaq Daddy, dude.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Nate is awfully large at the moment.
Give me a second. I'm gonna transfer here to my computer since I just got home.
Okay, so we might lose Nate. So I guess that gives me time to ponder. And
Nope.
did you switch already?
No.
Twice.
Oh,
All right, we're good on that end now.
I was gonna say, I was like, one of you was about to get muted. He's trying to ice me over here. I'm gonna go. Oof. Bill, you know what? Because, I mean, Shaq is athletic. I'm just gonna go Wilt here instead of Kareem. I was debating on if I wanted the bruiser or the finesse, but you guys aren't at this moment. Neither of your teams are sprinting up and down the court, so I'm gonna take my chance with Wilt.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Kobe Bryant here.
Ooh, Kobe.
fuck yeah, dude.
Damn, dude. So I think I'm not gonna guess Sean's pick, but I think I know what it is.
Damn, it's kind of tough, man.
I'll be honest if I'm wrong.
I think I'm gonna have to go with one of my all-time favorites, man, and that's Iverson, dude.
Oh, what? Dang, I was wrong, dude.
Wait, who
I
did
was
you say?
wrong. Well, he said Iverson.
Ah, okay. That's what I thought he said.
So
He's a little guy, man.
I'll tell you who I thought it was if said man gets drafted. Ooh, you guys got me contemplating here. Who's it gonna be? I could go power forward. Man, I'm drawing a blank because you guys kind of put me on the spot here. My pick is taken. So, ooh, I don't want to go. Man, and I can't think my process out loud, or I'm going to give myself away to you guys.
Fuck.
You know what? I am going to go Oscar Robertson. Big O.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling that right now. I'm feeling myself, as the kids say. I think I'm old enough to say it that way now.
Might be up there a little bit. Well, in that case, if you're gonna go that route, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna throw in a Dennis Rodman.
Woo!
Nice.
I'll be honest. I was sitting there debating what power forward to pick, and he didn't come up. But that's still a great pick. Now I still think I know where Sean's picking again this time, but I'm probably gonna be wrong again.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see this one coming, man.
Ooh, that's my line. No, wait.
Man, I'm gonna have to go KG, man.
Oh!
Ooh.
Sir.
Oh, man. Shoot. Well, now that I picked Oscar, I'm in Decisions. You know who I'm going to play at the 4? And it's not even that big of a stretch because he did do this at one point, I believe, maybe as a rookie. I'm going with the Dream.
Nice.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon as my power forward.
Fuck yeah.
I believe it was, what was that dude's name that he was drafted with? Was it Ralph Sampson? I can't remember.
I think it was Ralph Sampson.
Yeah, the Twin Towers, man. So it's not even that inconceivable. He has done it before.
Okay.
Second to last round here.
Hmm.
I know, it's tough. It's tough without the preparation.
I just gotta think. I've got a couple people in mind here. I just gotta figure out what I want to do with this pick here.
You're probably looking for a ball handler. Do you remember who you've got so far?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I got Rodman. Maybe I don't. Oh, Rodman. Why am I forgetting this? This is beyond me.
Tim Duncan.
That's right.
Slick Willie Russell. Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Carmen Electra.
You know what? I'm gonna surprise some people with this one, possibly, but I'm gonna go with John Stockton.
So not Jim Stockton.
Not Jim Stockton.
I knew who you were talking about, but in fairness, I didn't put you out until you drafted him. Because as soon as you said white dude and then said Jim, I was like, he's talking about John Stockton. I don't know why. It's not like there's no white dudes named Jim, but.
Dude, I honestly thought the same thing, man.
It's been a crazy day, so give me a break here.
It's all good, man. This is tough for me. Can you give me a recap on my picks, man?
You have the Great White Hope.
Nice.
Shazam.
Yeah.
We're talking about practice, and impossible is nothing.
All right.
You
So
got it? Did you get
Yeah.
Nice. I figured you would.
I'm gonna have to go because it sounds like I need a point. So I'm gonna have to go Steph Curry on him, dude.
Ooh.
Switch it up a bit. Give me that stroke.
Okay.
Stroke me, stroke me.
Mm. Ooh, well. Shoot, man. Here you are. So, Sean, the guy I thought you were going to. Oh, wait, no, I forgot there's a bench round. I'm not saying it yet. Not saying it yet. Oh.
Just a curious question for you, Draft. For the bench player, do we actually have to pick somebody who was a bench player or just anybody?
No, just anybody. Last time I picked Scottie Pippen and Sean went Ray Allen. So,
Okay.
ooh, man, who do I want my shooting guard to be? I'm going to go really biased here because I just want to give my boy some love. And I'm taking Reggie Miller to play my two-guard spot.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
I got a really tiny front court, man.
Yeah.
I mean back court.
Yeah, you do. That's why when you said you needed a point guard, I was like, do you? You could have just played AI at the one.
I could have.
That's why I didn't take who I wanted to take at 5, was I didn't really want to end up with 2 point guards. And Oscar's only like 6'2".
I feel it.
But,
Damn.
Nate, you're still on the clock, sir.
I am. I am. So, the pick I'm going to go with here, you wouldn't necessarily think of it as a bench player, and I realize we could pick whoever. But in terms of gelling here, I'm going to go with Manu Ginobili.
I knew. Nice. Nice.
Fuck yeah,
I had a
dude.
feeling that's why you asked that. Because I knew if I had said, oh yeah, bench players only, it was going to be Manu before I could finish my sentence. Pressure's on, Sean.
For my bench, man, I'm gonna have to show my UK boys some love, and I'm going Devin Booker coming off the bench.
D-Book. All right, all right. Like we're getting a little favoritism in here, and I like it.
Yep.
So I'm going to just go with what I went last time and just take good old Scotty Too Hottie.
I feel
Scotty Pippen.
it.
Ooh.
That's a pretty solid choice there.
Coaching time. I'm just going to start a new podcast where I just sing my daily thoughts to people.
Every day.
Kevin, I say this as your friend here. I would not suggest that at all.
We need slapstick comedy, man. We need someone that's just horrible. It'll make all the other podcasts look better.
I like where you're going with that, Kevin.
Right? You know, it's like I'm that like 6 or 7 at the bar who brings 2 of her girlfriends with her, so she looks real hot. Except in this instance, my podcast is the gross friend that makes all of our other podcasts look hot.
Look at it, dude. I like it. All right, who you going with your coach, Nate?
Who am I going with?
There's like maybe 5 legitimate choices here.
Yeah. I'm going with Popovich.
Poppy? Yeah,
Poppy.
you're all about that synergy.
Yeah.
He's got a 6 Sigma black belt. Alright, Sean. Who's going to handle all of your personalities?
It's between 2 guys, man. And I'm having a hard time. But
Pat Riley and Phil Jackson, isn't it?
no.
Really?
After I pick the one, I'll tell you who the other one is.
Well, let me pick mine.
All right, I got you.
You don't want to give me any pointers.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go Calipari, man.
Coach Cal.
Yes, sir. Fuck it.
Okay, all right. So the way my options, as I see it, are Pat Riley, Larry Brown, Phil Jackson, and Red Auerbach. Now, I'm not going to go Red because, well, I could with my team because there's a couple of guys from the '60s in there, but he's not going to be able to handle LeBron or Reggie and their attitudes. So with this kind of lineup, all I really need is that it's got to be Phil or Pat Riley, and I'm just going to go with the Zen Master because if there's one thing I know, it's if Phil Jackson has 2 superstars, he's going to win a title.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's where I'm going. So now, here's the fun part, fellas. Now, let's have Sean go first. Sean, who wins between the Nate Dogs and the Kevlon Dons?
Can I get a recap on each team?
Want to recap? All right. Nate has Timmy, Bill Russell, Kobe, Dennis Rodman, John Stockton, and then Manu sitting next to Pop on the bench. I've got the Big O, Reggie Miller, LeBron James, Hakeem and Wilt with Scottie Pippen on the bench.
It's tough, man.
He's got the front court defense, and I've got the offense.
Right. I'm gonna have to go Kev, man.
Oh, that's.
Nate's got the big man, dude, but Kev's got more of a like balanced roster, I think.
And how much fun of a matchup is LeBron James on Dennis Rodman, dude? That would really actually be that would have been intense to watch. If that had ever had a chance to happen. Both those dudes in their prime.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, LeBron was really the one that won me over for your team. Like, as much as I don't love LeBron, I don't know. He's the kind of one to sit out.
Right, well, I imagine if I sub out Reggie for Scotty, or I sub out Oscar Robertson for Scotty, like that. To me, that was the thing. Is once I saw Scottie Pippen sitting there, and I was like, man, because to me, Draymond Green is like a poor man's Scottie Pippen. Like they didn't play that brand of basketball in the '90s, but Scottie Pippen could have easily been a stretch 4 in today's NBA.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, when you got Dream and LeBron on the same team, though, that's pretty nasty. I almost went Karl
Malone.
Thought about picking him.
Urging you to serve water.
Who did you think I was going to pick up, man?
I thought you were going to take Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to like switch it up a little bit, man. Make it a little less predictable.
No, I feel that. I know that's your boy. That's the only reason I thought. And plus, the whole idea of there's another guy who in his rookie year started at center in the NBA Finals and then went on at 6'9" to play point guard. So what I cannot believe, guys, is between the three of us with 18 choices of all time in a positionless 5-on-5 that none of us took Magic Johnson. To me, it almost warrants a redraft. But then again, I was Mr. Irrelevant. I had the opportunity to do it, and I didn't do it because, damn it, Reggie Miller's getting some love. If I'm having a sports show, my boy's getting some love.
That's how I felt about that. Like, I could have picked anybody over there. But, I mean,
you really could.
But I just felt like I had to show UK some love. He is like my favorite like young player right now.
And that, I don't have a problem with that because I can't have a problem with that because I took Reggie. And so, okay, so who wants to go next? Nate, you want to pick a winner? Or you guys want me to decide between you two?
I can go ahead and pick here.
Right.
Can I get a rehash of the rosters, though?
All right, so Sean has Steph, AI, Larry Bird, Garnett, Shaq, and then Devin Booker on the bench with Coach Cal. I have Oscar, Reggie Miller, LeBron, Hakeem Olajuwon, Wilt Chamberlain, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson.
I'm going to go with Kevin, and I'm going to go with Kevin for this one reason only. With the shooters you have with AI and Steph.
He has a. Sean has AI.
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
But I just have the feeling if you're in a game there, you're going to have some conflicts that'll carry over.
Oh, you're going at it from a chemistry aspect. Okay. All right. I like it.
I like it, dude. I can dig it.
I can feel that. And so you guys have put me now in a spot. Because now I'm picking between you. And it's a really tough call. So as I break it down, the way I see it at point guard, John Stockton can guard Steph Curry much better than Steph Curry's going to guard John Stockton. Now, granted, John's not going to shoot that much, so I really think so. What's tough here is Sean is almost all offense. He's got some defense in Shaq, but you guys are actually opposites on the strengths that you went with, because while Kobe is an amazing offensive talent, he doesn't get nearly enough credit for how he was one of the best on-ball defenders at shooting guard we've ever seen. Obviously second to Jordan, but that dude could D you up. To me, in their prime, Garnett and Duncan are a wash, if I'm being honest. I think their skill sets are similar enough where their stats are going to even each other out. Where, oh man. I'm going Sean in the end, and here the only reason, Nathan, honestly, is you're a little, despite three big front court guys, with him having Shaq up on Bill Russell, you still find yourself undersized because Bill Russell was a man, but I don't know anybody who doesn't require some help on Shaq. And then, so when someone inevitably does come down to help on Shaq, you have Steph Curry, Allen Iverson, and Larry Bird just hanging out at the three-point line, ready to cock and fire. And one of them is going to be open, and especially if it's Larry or Steph, it's probably going down. So this was a really tough call. I think, Nate, where I think you screwed yourself on this one, man, was with Dennis Rodman. Because I think unless you would bring Manu in in a pinch, you're going to have a hard time calling for any offense. It would be the offense would maybe run through Kobe, or at least less offense. So I'm going Sean. It was a hard-fought game, 4-point game at the end. But from there, we have Sean's brainchild, which would be to keep the spirit of this fantastic voyage. We got that fantasy football coming up soon. And Sean pitched the idea of a sleeper draft.
Okay.
So, Sean, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. So you suggested a cap, right, or a handicap. So
Yes.
how do we want to go ahead and do that?
I feel like we should each go around the table. One of us picks a player, each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex. And I don't think we need to pick her yet, but it's pretty much on the main position. Handicap, one player from each.
Okay, cool. So, Nate, did you get all that?
No, because it echoed and canceled itself out.
It echoed.
I mean, if you could just repeat it.
Yeah, I'll just repeat it. Sean, I was having a little bit of a connection issue over on my end. I've turned you up all the way, so we'll see. But So what he said, Nate, was we all go around the. What we're doing here is we're going to pick one quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, a flex, and a defense. But before we do that, we're going to set a handicap, which is to say each one of us will pick one player at each position that is ineligible for the draft. So the idea is you're not going to give anybody a pointer by telling them they should take Andrew Luck if he's available, sort of thing. So the idea is for us to try to pick a draft with just players we think are going to have a breakout season, whether it's a rookie or, I mean, the title's in itself. It's a sleeper draft. So with that being said, Nate, let's go with quarterbacks first. Who do you want not on the board?
Tom Brady.
Nice.
Tom Brady, all right. I got that written down. Sean?
I'm gonna go Ben Roethlisberger.
All right. And I have to go Aaron Rodgers because I don't think it's fair to put any other quarterback that's up right now above him. And I'll start the snake of this draft with the running backs. And who do I take off at running back with Le'Veon Bell already being suspended? I'm going to just take AP off the board, I suppose. Sean?
Is it me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jamal Charles.
JC. All right. Nasty Nate. Hit me with it.
Thinking here real quick.
That's not allowed. This is America, goddammit. Check that shit at the door.
Right?
I'm looking at a list of teams and trying to rack my head here. Oh, why can't I think? I gotta go with. I can't. Honestly, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Well, all right. There, let's say let's just throw Le'Veon Bell on the list then, so we can just keep it moving.
All right.
All right. Now give me a wide receiver. You got one of those?
Yeah, I got Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. All right. Sean.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. J. Jones. A. Brown. Ooh, who am I taking? You know what? Let's get Dez off that list.
Nice.
No Dez Bryant and no Gronk at tight end.
No Gronk.
Yeah. I don't even know that we need to do a 3-person cap at tight end. We might just want to say just no Gronk.
Yeah, let's just do no Gronk on that one, dude.
All right, that sounds good.
And honestly, I don't know if we need to handicap a defense unless you guys have a suggestion.
Nah, I don't.
No.
Okay. So, with that being said, who wants to go first?
I want to go last.
All right, so Sean wants that third pick. Nate, do you want the honors?
I'll go first. Are we going position by position here?
No, I have a little breakdown over here to fill out for each team, so you can go with whatever you want to go with, and I will keep track. And if you try to draft something you've already drafted, I'll just let you know.
Okay. I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver.
Fuck.
Ha! DeAndre Hopson, let's do it.
Oh, man. Damn, dude. That was kind of like at the top of my list at the moment.
Oh, well, you don't have to go wide receiver, though. Remember that.
Oh, no. It's your pick anyways. I'm still thinking.
Oh, it's my pick. That's right. That's right. Ooh. Now I'm the one who's on the hot seat here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take your boy, Sean. Mr. Cooper. I'm going to be hanging with Mr. Cooper over here.
You're a dick.
You took the third pick, man.
Oh, dude.
Well, you can take Andrew Luck.
Man, I don't want that dude. The only reason I handicapped him, I was just worried about like
Well, I want to, but at the same time, I did say that because I thought he was going to be handicapped. So I did use him as my example of someone who we shouldn't draft. So now I'm feeling like, like I can't really do that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and say fucking and pick my boy Darius Hart.
Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like he's gonna have big years, man.
So I didn't even think about this, but we didn't decide first. We should probably do this snake style, right? I mean, that's how most fantasy drafts are done.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So Sean, you should be up next, mon frere.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go Zeke Elliott, man.
Ooh, you bastard. You
Yeah,
I'm not cool with that. Yeah, I know. I got Coop. I'm gonna go Devontae Freeman.
Nice.
Which is
All
I
right.
almost took him first. All right, go ahead, Nate. Where you
So
got?
here, since I got this back to back here, I'm gonna go with Todd Gurley,
Hell yeah.
and then I'm gonna go with a nice surprise at tight end and pick Zach Miller out of Chicago.
Yeah, you would.
Dirty dog.
You would. Tight end is where I'm gonna struggle. Be honest about it right now. You know, now that you mentioned it, Sean, and because he had such a bad year last year, I am going to take Raggedy Andy Luck because I do think he'll bounce back. And while I think maybe if you're in a more hardcore fantasy league, you may see him drop. One where people are paying more attention. I think in your run-of-the-mill fantasy league, though, his name has some staying power, so he's not really going to be a sleeper. But if he didn't have that name and if he wasn't the highest-paid quarterback, and you looked at what he did last year, you wouldn't expect much from him. And I personally don't expect much from the Colts. I think our time has come. As a Colts fan, I no longer. I mean, we're in the easiest division in football. We're about to be not winning it anymore. So. But anyway, on to you, Sean. Enough about my crying.
I'm gonna have to go Odell with my pick.
Yodel.
Yes, sir. That fills my receiver slot. At tight end, I'm gonna go Delaney Walker from Tennessee.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Got me on the spot, man. I'm going to go with arguably the most overrated player because I don't want to go with something like Charles Clay or anything like that. So I'm just going to go with Julius Thomas because that Jacksonville offense has a lot of weapons, and with all those wide receivers doing so well last year, we may see a situation where things kind of open up for him a bit because he may have just been a product of a good Denver offense. And so maybe that's why he struggled in Jacksonville. But Jacksonville's going to have a good offense this year. So I'm going to take my Orange Julius and walk home.
Oh.
Who do I have to fill here?
What do we have to fill? Is that what you said?
What do I have to fill?
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Yeah, that too.
You have quarterback, flex, and defense.
Okay. Well, for the flex here, I'm going to fill it with Allen Robinson.
Ooh, nice. I like how I segued that one for you.
And then I'm going to fill my quarterback position with good old Mr. Phillip Rivers.
Pip Rivers. Gross. That is gross, but a solid fantasy pick. I don't like it, but I respect it. You might as well have just said Jay Cutler to me, but no, he's a little better.
That's like a fucking major insult.
Yeah, I'm not a big Pip Rivers fan. To me, Pip and Jay are the kind of guys that put up the stats they put up because they're down by 21 points at half most games.
Hey, when it comes to fantasy, though, I mean...
Exactly. That's why I said I respect it. And speaking of respect, you might not respect my next pick, Nathan, but you're probably going to like it being the homer that you are. I'm gonna holler at your boy Jeremy Langford as my flex.
Well, I should let you know, though, Jordan Howard might end up having the starting job.
Well, yeah, and I might have sex with a Playboy model tomorrow, but all I'm saying, I'm gonna show you this because there's somebody smarter than both of us about this that has my back right now. Bam, right there, from the fantasy godfather himself.
Okay.
No, but you might be right. But I looked at my team and realized that this is not at all a sleeper team. So it's sort of misbranding here, and that's why I felt I had to really dig. Because honestly, at this point in the fantasy world, I still have not even geared up all of my research. I'm not a year-long fantasy guy. For me...
Well, you know what, though? Like, people that do that are kind of crazy. I literally do not do any sort of research. And the league I've been in the longest, I'm, 2 out of 3 years champ. So.
See? And there are probably dudes that spend $50 on a draft book and print out all these sheets and all that good stuff. And yeah, to me, I like it to be fun. So I find that nice mix of research and fuck it.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck it. Sean, you're about to be the first one done with the team. What you got for us?
Can you give me a recap?
You have
Flex and defense.
You need flex and defense.
All right. For my defense, I'm gonna go ahead and surprise y'all, and I'm gonna roll with Jackson still, man.
What?
Yeah, they got a nice fusion of players who are directions.
Oh.
I think Jackson's pushing this year.
Well, unfortunately, I just missed all of your expert analysis. You cut out on me a little bit there. You want to try one more time?
Yeah, I was just saying, Jacksonville really got a nice fusion of players over the offseason and through the draft. They're going to be a nice, solid team this year. I think they might make a push.
And to add to what you said, they also chose not to bring Greg Hardy on, which was probably not addition to their defense. Because at least they don't have to worry about him coming in and just pissing in everyone's cornflakes.
Right. Well, they got Dante Fowler back this year. He'll actually get to play. They got Miles Jack, Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they're looking pretty solid. So I'm gonna risk that. Flex. That's pretty tough. I'm gonna have to say that I'm going to. I just had a brain fart, dude. I'm sorry. Um, sorry, picked everything for Daniel.
Yes, I did.
Go ahead and
Okay.
get
What was it?
Benjamin from
Oh, okay, okay.
Good pick. Good pick.
I like it.
Go ahead.
I like it. So, for my defense, I kind of wavered on this, but I'm gonna go with the Texans.
All
Pick my defense. I don't like that. I don't like having to do that, but the potentially, let's say Jacksonville and Indianapolis potentially switch places. They may not be in the weak division that they once were in, but they'll be playing in a division where potentially there's only one other good defense, and so, I just I can see them. I can see the Texans if Osweiler can stay on the field. I can see that Texas defense. If they can stay well rested and they're not just on the field all the time, I can see them putting some things together.
Oh yeah.
Now my pick for next year, because I don't think Nathan's gonna pick this. My pick for next year would be the Dallas Cowboys. When they get my boy Jalen running around linebacker for them, they're gonna be nasty.
Dude, they got to steal with him, man. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna pick him. Probably not second. Got him in the third.
I think when you think about how many of your draft picks don't even make it out of the league 3 years, to wait 1 year for a guy who would have been a top 10 pick, I think that's worth a second round pick.
Oh yeah.
Because I truly believe if he hadn't gotten hurt, he's at least top 15. I mean, there was a time in the season where he was really up there.
Yeah, I saw some mock drafts that had him in like 5 and 6 pick, dude. He was up there. Yeah, dude, they got to steal. Oh yeah, Jalen's dope. We got him, man.
Yeah,
He looked
I'm not happy about where he ended up, but at least it gives me a reason not to despise the Cowboys for 3 to 4 years. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
It's pretty bad, man.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Good thing DeJohn's not on today.
Right.
All right, Nate, bring us home.
So I've been pretty satisfied with the acquisitions this off season.
I know where he's going with this.
So I'm going to be a super big homer right now and pick the Monsters of the Midway.
Duh, Bears.
Bears.
Dick cat. All right, well, I know that Swaggy P, Sean B over here. I don't know why. That's the only thing I can think of that rhymed with your name, man. I don't mean to diss you like that.
You do.
I know he's got to get rolling, so I'm going to just give us a little quick recap. But, Nate, I don't want you going anywhere because we got some Cubs business to talk if you've got the time. You've got 10 minutes to talk Chapman with me. That'd be great. But I believe maybe that he just left us. Sean, you still here, bud?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm here to receive.
Yeah, he is gone. I see him in the thingy. He just sent me the thingy. He just sent me a text that asked me if I died. So while I just kicked him out to re-invite him, so I'll go over our picks real quick here. So I'll save Nathan because he's not here to hear it. Sean, I'll go with you first. you had a really good draft. Carr, Zeke, Odell, Delaney Walker, Kelvin Benjamin, and the Jags defense. It's legit, man.
Yeah.
I am definitely, let's put it this way, I might have won the basketball one, but that's my thing. And football here, I did not win. It's between, in my mind, it's between you and Nate. And there he is.
Harry.
For some reason, the Wi-Fi decided to die.
Sunshine. Oh, it's okay. I'm just glad you were worried about me, man. I appreciate that. So, I'll give quick ones over on Sean's again. It was Carr, Zeke, Odell Beckham, Walker at tight end, Benjamin at the flex, and Jags defense. Mine is kind of a it doesn't fit what we were going for, but it just shows how much research I still have ahead of me for fantasy season. I got Luck, Freeman, Atari Cooper, Julius, Langford, and the Texans D. And Nate has Phillip Rivers, Todd Gurley, Hopkins, Zach Miller, Allen Robinson. And you know what's funny? Instead of writing Bears defense, I wrote Ditka. I didn't do that on purpose. I was just looking at my notes and was like, look at that. So I'm saying it's between you two. I think Sean has the better team, but I don't know. We all kind of cheated here because our handicap wasn't big enough. But it's tough. I'm gonna, for my money, I'm giving Nate the win because I felt he did maybe go with a couple. Yeah. I'm going Nate because he did pick some sleepers. I don't think they're gonna work out necessarily, but he picked more sleepers than we picked, Sean. I still got you ranked ahead of me.
That's cool.
Now, what do you think, Nate? Well, how would you rank it?
Well, can I have the teams repeated again? I'm sorry.
Man, how many times do you need me to read this shit? Third grade? I don't like to read out loud. It makes me feel dumb. Do you need me to read your team again?
Yeah, sure. No.
Come on, man. What is? It's like we're a bunch of amateurs up here or something. Phil Rivers, Gurley, Hopkins.
Oh, I don't need my team read.
You said yes when I asked.
It was a joke.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You never know, man. You never know. John had Carr, Zeke, Odell, Walker. Not Odell, Walker. Not Odell Walker. Benjamin and the Jags defense. I had Luck, Freeman, Cooper, Thomas, Langford, and the Texans D.
I gotta go with Sean's on that one, man. His offensive weapons are, he's got much better offensive weapons for sure.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you. I think you're right. I actually right now I'm going to say that we need to get maybe one more person and have a redo of this when we get a little closer to the season, because I need to redeem myself for tonight.
Fair enough.
And Sean, I know you. What do you got? I imagine you got yourself at the number one spot.
I mean, Nate does go. Like, I mean, you have good players. Oh, I mean, you want me to start with you and Nate?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn. I probably will have to go with Nate, dude.
Hey, that's cool. It's cool, you know. I get it. You know, I work real hard to get all these podcasts together, but it's cool, man. I'll be last. It's fine. I don't mind. No, but in all fairness, I put myself last too. I agree with you. So, well, Sean, homie, I don't want to keep you anymore. I know we are about. I don't want to tell you how far past your cutoff time we are. Uh,
It's all good. I had a great time. Chatting.
man,
Spoke.
I'm glad you're able to make it out. We're gonna keep doing this. Sean is gonna be my regular co-host, especially when I can actually get his ass in the studio.
Oh yeah.
But all right, Sean, I'm gonna let you say your farewell, and then Nate and I are gonna argue over the Cubs because I don't know, we might not be on the same page with our favorite team here.
Fair enough. You guys have fun. See if you can do that with the Cubbies. Nate, pleasure, man. Very
Always a
nice.
good one, man.
Yes, sir. Kev, get at me later in the week, man. We'll try to plan a time to hook up sometime this weekend, man.
Yeah, man, yeah, for sure. Don't worry, I'll be over. I'll be over later to tuck you in.
So,
But yeah, man, we'll talk real soon. We'll get ready for the next episode.
sounds good, bro. You guys have a good night. I'm out of here.
You too, man.
Night, Sean.
And
All right, Nate, lay it on me. How do you feel about this so-called blockbuster?
From a baseball perspective, I'm not too thrilled that it's a 4-for-1 trade here. I would have liked to have even if it's just a filler minor leaguer come back. I would have liked to had somebody else come back, especially with it. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is the year. This is putting all your eggs in the basket. If from a baseball perspective, Chapman shores up that bullpen, which is the weakest link of the team, honestly. So from a baseball perspective, I'm pretty, I'm behind it. Now, in terms of Chapman as a person, and in terms of how most everybody else on the Cubs, how they are as a person, I'm rather concerned. And I'm gonna put aside the other players on the team here and just talk about Chapman for a minute. Now he didn't get charged, and I've seen pictures of his girlfriend where he supposedly choked her, and there's no marks or anything. But the fact that he shot off a gun 8 times in his own garage because he was angry. I mean, you don't have to necessarily hit someone for there to be hit your spouse for it to be domestic violence. I mean, that can be seen as intimidation. And controlled not substances, controlled statements. I've read the statements that Theo and the owners and Chapman has given himself. He's not necessarily completely owning up to it. Now, I mean, that's just vague statements. That's usually what happens when people speak to the media in situations like this. But I have seen a lot of my friends and Cubs fans in general, especially that are female, they're quite upset about this. And this leads to a bigger problem we can talk about down the road with domestic violence and how it's seen in society. But is selling. It brings up a good question of like, is selling your soul completely? Is it even still worth the end result if it's the end result you want? Especially, and now I'm going to bring this other part back in with the players on the team. I mean, other than John Lackey, who, mind you, divorced his wife when his wife had cancer, his ex-wife. Most of the other Cubs, they have high moral character, and they haven't really been involved in any incidents. Now, Starlin Castro was accused of sexual assault a couple of years ago, and I realize he's on the Yankees, but he was a big chunk of the team last year. But other than that, I mean, the guys on the team, there are not necessarily dark incidents in the past, And I read an article today that was posted 3 years ago. This is not Chapman's first brush with the law or first any sort of incident. And if I can pull this up here, see if I can. Well, shoot, all right. I'm gonna still be on here. I need to find this link real quick. Where is it?
Okay, so while you look for that, I will talk about sort of my thoughts on it. Now, where I find myself thinking is, or where I wish, I'm not a big fan of this move at all. Not, you just discount all the valid things that you just said about his character issues potentially. Just even from a baseball standpoint, you had, you give up your number one prospect for a guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Am I mistaken on that part?
No, that is correct. They did not work in an extension.
Yeah. So now I'm not familiar with the terms on Andrew Miller's contract, but for my money, that is the route that I would have went. Again, maybe he's, to go back to your point, he might be just as bad as Chapman, but I don't know about it. And so you don't have that looming over his head where it's like, well, is this guy going to be clubhouse cancer? Because it's not even so much about, there are, sadly, especially back before this was made to be the issue that it is, and it's good that it's come to the point where these athletes are being held at least more accountable. I think in a lot of cases they're still not really being held accountable, but I'm sure that there were plenty of guys back in the day that had these domestic disputes outside of the locker room, but were still good teammates and didn't have any. So, like, to draw back to football, I'll mention Greg Hardy. Teams right now that are passing on Greg Hardy, they're not doing it because he hit his wife or he hit his girlfriend and they have a moral standard. They're doing it because he was a cancer in the Cowboy locker room. It's been, as far as the NFL goes, it's been 2 years and he's not Ray Rice. So
yeah,
the NFL, if it's shown me anything in that league, if you're worth the trouble off the field, they're going to keep you around. I haven't seen Josh Gordon get traded for, you know what I mean? Like, so with Chapman, I get worried that his demeanor, like you said, he's just, I don't want to, there's such, the thing about the Cubs this year, it really is that chemistry, although they haven't looked good lately, and maybe this will be the spark that they need to kind of get back in the swing of things, but
yeah.
It also could be the exact opposite. This could be like trading for Rajon Rondo, which, by the way, I'm sorry, your Bulls are screwed.
Yeah, they're the Bulls are kind of fucked, but
Can we please come back and touch on the Bulls after this? Because I've got to
By the way, I've got the link. I'm sending it to you in a Facebook message.
Wonderful.
I just sent it. Okay, let's see if it. Yeah. So. Yep, that's the article. It's a kind of long one here, but it kind of talks about how he came to America when he defected, and it talks about some of the issues he's had. And now this article, I will say, is over 3 years old. It's 2013, as you can see in there. So, yeah, I mean, he's been, just to sum it up a little bit, he's been arrested for speeding and stuff. Supposedly, there was also a, what is it? Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, just look in there. I read it earlier.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a read. Anybody listening should give it a read. But yeah, so back really to your point, because I won't have time right now to read through it and see what any of this stuff says. So overall, I guess we're in agreement. We, as the two biggest Cub fans that I know, of course,
Yeah.
there are plenty of people that say that. Neither of us are really pumped about this, huh?
Baseball wise, I'm it, like I said, it helped shore up the bullpen, but I don't know if that necessarily was worth the cost of the the stigma and the reputation hit there. I mean, I trust Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer to vet and cover their bases, do their homework. But still, I mean, and it's not even only the domestic violence thing, although that's obviously at the forefront with how recent it was, and honestly, how you brought up Greg Hardy, and he's a great example, in my opinion, of the domestic violence attitude we have now, or we're starting to turn towards. I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily worth that.
Yeah, and so for me, honestly, I'm just putting all of that stuff aside because, again, I don't think that your point isn't valid, but I can't even get to that point as when I look at it for maybe, okay, for a one World Series run, okay, I understand you wanting to shore up that bullpen, but I've never liked the idea of trading your future away for just that possibility, especially when the window's so short. Now, if they had made this trade and they were going to have Chapman this year and next year, all right, maybe it makes me feel a little bit better. But you're giving away your future, the best player you have. Granted, I'm glad they stuck to their word and didn't move Shipman. But as far as that, just throwing me around over here.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, to me, it's just bad. I don't like the idea of. And then I think of, oh, help me out. It's not Stroke. Who's closing right now?
Hector Rondon.
Thank you, Rondon. He has shown flashes, and yeah, he's blown, 4 of his last 11 or something like that?
I believe that is the correct thing there.
Yeah, he's blown 4 out of his last 11, but before that, he was on quite a streak going from last season into this season. And so it's one of those things where it's like granted, he doesn't throw it 100 miles per hour, but again, I think we could have gone a more logical route. I don't think the Cubs had to swing for the fences here, and I don't think they had to give up so much just to essentially, like you said, you just gave away 4 players to rent a guy who himself says, who is looking forward to free agency. He hasn't had that opportunity in 6 years. So we're the Cubs and we have Theo's. I mean, there's a bit of a draw there, but it's not a guarantee. So I really don't like it.
I kind of disagree with you on the baseball side of things, other than the fact, like I said, it would have been nice to even just having a filler come back. Think of it, Torres, I mean, he was #1 prospect, but he's also blocked, which is why, Vogelbach was also expendable as well. But where are you going to put him in the infield? I mean, things obviously can change in some years, but they also need to deal from a place of strength, and it's not like the cupboard is bare. I mean, they still have Ian Happ, they still have Dwayne Underwood, Eloy Jimenez, Hamir Candelaro, Dylan Cease, Oscar De La Cruz, Pierce Johnson, and I mean others. I mean, they still have. I'm more concerned about having arms in the system than position players at this point. I mean,
yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, and Torres was still at single A ball too. So I mean, now just for example, within the Cubs system, I mean, Kyle Schwarber moved up quick. So did Chris Bryant. So things could happen quickly, but
I mean, I was never probably going to be upset with trading away Torres. Um, you know, it seems at this point, your concern is basically, to start with the baseball side, which is fine. You do have all valid points. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm disagreeing with you, but your points are valid. It's and like I said, they still have a lot of good prospects. The farm is still pretty stocked for the most part.
All right, so the next question is, does this do it then? Do you think this will work?
I think, as the Royals showed last year, as when you have a lockdown bullpen, you're gonna go pretty far with your successes. I think this could. Now, I would like to see maybe a better bench player in terms of a bat. They've been talks about getting Josh Reddick, believe it or not. I don't think we necessarily need to do that. But my biggest concern now is the rotation, and I know that seems weird, but Jason Hamill time and time again is almost collapsed in the second half.
Yeah, he is. So, makes me nervous every time I see that he's the starter of the day, to be honest. And who's to say? We're getting kind of old in the rotation. With I like the addition of Lackey, kind of, because he's a number 4, right, at this point.
Technically, he's the number 3, but I would put Kyle Hendricks up there. But I mean, Lackey, as he's older, obviously, but they got him to be innings eater, be kind of a bulldog. I mean, just for example, the last game of the All-Star break, he went 8 innings, gave up 4 earned, but he stayed in there, passed over 100, I think over 110 pitches, if I remember. And he ate up innings for the bullpen. I mean, the Cubs were still, they were tied at that point and ended up winning the game. But I mean, that was like one of the big reasons that he was signed. But you are correct with being older. And I personally, I don't think Arrieta is going to be here past 2017.
No way.
Either.
No, there's no way. And honestly, I don't think we should pay him what he wants. If I'm being honest about it, maybe not necessarily not pay him what he wants, but I'm taking it he wants 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you remember we didn't have a radio show back then, but you remember I was livid about the deal we gave Lester, giving like a 32-year-old man a 7-year deal, or
31.
He was 31, but even still, it's like this dude is not going to be pitching when he's 38 years old. Not for us. No way, in my opinion. And I think the same thing about Arrieta. I think, I get that that's how it works now, but I don't care if the Cubs don't sign him for 7 years because
let the Yankees do it.
Huh?
Let the Yankees do it.
Let the Yankees do it and let him have 2 good seasons, and then fast forward 3 years and he'll be CC Sabathia slipping on his way to the mound, but just falling down while he's trying to throw a pitch. That's fine. I don't,
Hey, you know what? I will say the Yankees have had some success with, drunkard pitchers and things along those lines. I mean,
David Wells getting up there.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that.
Game. Or was he hungover when he threw the perfect game? I think he was.
I think he was hungover, but you've had plenty of hangovers. I've had plenty of hangovers to realize, that would be a bitch to do.
It is. So I played a handful of intramural basketball games in my day with a wicked hangover, and that's not even comparable. It's like apples and an apple core. But yeah, it's not easy. It's sweating out all that booze, especially a guy like David Wells out there in that freaking uniform. Oh man. Well, okay. So go ahead and give me a prediction. Who do you think plays in the World Series, and who do you think wins?
I'm going to be obviously a little homerish. I mean, you know, they've had struggles of late, but I think they get the ship righted. And with the issues that New York Mets have had with the rotation, I mean, heck, they're not even really. I don't even think they'll make the playoffs. The Nationals, I'm not super scared of the Nationals. I am of the Giants a little bit. They've been struggling, but you know, they got the even year voodoo magic. But I think they've got a good enough lineup and they've got a good rotation that I think they're the main competition in the NL. But I think the offense will power through there, and the rotation will pitch well enough in the postseason. Especially, like for example, the other day they took not today, but they took Hendricks out at like 77 pitches. So they're trying to save the arms for the postseason. So honestly, I've got to go with the Cubs coming out of the NL. This American League pick, I like what this team has been doing. I think they can keep it up, and I'm going to go with the Indians out of the American League.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's so. I was thinking about it. Oh man, yeah, I shouldn't have let you go first because I was gonna say I was gonna say that although I don't know who is going to be that keeps the Cubs from going to the World Series, but I don't think we're going.
You don't think so?
Our luck, it's going to be like the Cardinals that sneak in and get that wild card spot or something, and then we're going to get beat by the old nemesis here. And I was really leaning Indians because there's how awesome. I'm going to go with it because just how awesome would a Cleveland-Chicago World Series be? Although somebody's going to be really let down. Although Cleveland, they'd be fine.
They just had the Cavaliers win. They're okay.
Yeah, Cleveland's probably one of the few rare sports cities where I think they would have taken it from any, like, that the Cavs championship now, it's going to make the Browns season this year doesn't matter. The Indians, as well as they're doing, it doesn't really matter. They've been in a drought for so long as a city. Now that they have that one, they're going to ride it out. They're going to be celebrating this title until 2020.
Well, think about it this way too. Now it's not obviously going to be what could have happened, before the Red Sox or White Sox broke their streaks. But I mean, just think about 2003 with how it could have been Red Sox Cubs. But the Indians have the second longest drought in the majors in terms of not having a championship. Putting the expansion teams that have not won aside, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what the oldest one is. I think it's the Astros, but having those two droughts. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be a homer and say city of Chicago would burn down if the Cubs won. But if anybody but the Cubs has to win, I'd probably go the Indians. Just because.
Yeah, and that was the other reason I went with it, because if it's a Cubs Indians World Series, I'm not going to be that upset if they lose, because it's Cleveland, man. I don't see how anybody can ever get upset when Cleveland wins. But all right, so before we wrap it up here, because I have to go to bed soon and go to my real job. Oh, it's depressing to even say.
Yeah.
I want to poke fun at your Bulls a little bit, if you'll let me.
Well, I'm not a big NBA fan, so go ahead.
But enough.
Yes.
You follow your Bulls a little bit here, and
Well, if we're going to be real here before you continue, I probably am more kept up on the Pacers just being so close.
Fair enough. Well, we can talk. You know me, I would love to talk some Pacers as well. So the Bulls, though, with these moves. So the issue that I have with what your boys have done, is one of the knocks I heard on Fred Hoiberg from last year was that he didn't really seem to have control necessarily. You know, he was like the antithesis of a Tom Thibodeau. And so the response then is to bring in personalities such as Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade, you know, classic, you know, friendly guys that are known for their chemistry building in the locker room. Also, Robin Lopez is kind of a prick. So,
Hey, but you know what? Maybe you need some prickness on the court. I realize you're talking about the locker room. I'm just saying.
right? No, well, they need what they got. They swapped out Joakim Noah for a poor man's Joakim Noah, which at this point, with Noah being injured the way he is, might be a better bargain. I think they probably will end up getting a better year out of Robin Lopez than the Knicks get out of Joakim. What bothers me, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're just looking to try to sell some tickets with the hometown hero D Wade coming home. Well, I mean, the Wade signing, I totally get it. You play him with Jimmy Butler, you have a dynamic wing scoring, and he had a bit of a renaissance last year. He stayed healthy. He managed to have a good season. To me, it's Rondo. Why, at this point, any team other than the Sixers or some other bottom dweller would bother offering this guy a roster spot? I don't understand. I mean, since he's left Boston, he has been nothing but a problem. He's not half the player he once was. If he was Rajon Rondo, that was arguably one of the better players even after they brought in their big three. Maybe then he probably had these attitude problems then. But I bet it's a lot easier to stay in line when Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce are the guys yelling at you.
Well, also, I mean, you know, Dallas aside, I want to talk about Sacramento. I mean, I didn't necessarily hear too much. Like I said, I don't necessarily follow too well. But, you know, when you hear out of Sacramento, it's basically Boogie Cousins. I mean, that, you know, you could tell me, did he have any big issues in Sacramento?
Who, Boogie?
No, Rondo.
It wasn't nearly as documented because all the problems are about Boogie and his coach, and so it wasn't nearly as covered as the whole Maverick situation. And also at this time, it's not new news anymore that Rondo had a problem, so it wasn't nearly as covered in Sacramento. I'm drawing a blank on anything specific, but it definitely nobody was singing campfire songs in Sacramento this year.
No.
It was not. Nope. It was not a good matchup, and all I'm thinking here is that Rondo won't be able to take a back seat. That he's going to come in and think, you know, I might be wrong actually, because Dwayne Wade could have that effect on him. It's Dwayne Wade clearly they're not better than him, and they did come in. Maybe that's the only thing that will keep him in line.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not looking for Rondo to be, you know, a LeBron James, Kobe Bryant type of take over the game here. I mean, the cancer problems aside, I mean, you know, those are obviously the big elephant in the room there. You won't know how it goes until even going through the preseason and whatnot, but I mean, I think maybe playing with Wade might help a little bit, you know, regardless of how old Wade is. Do I think they're going to be any good? No. I think they could make the playoffs, but that's about as far as I would go.
That's where I'm at. I see them as not having home court in the first round. I see them as a lower seed. Maybe if they draw – I'm still not sold on the Raptors. I know they were the 2 seed. Everybody else, every other sports radio you would turn on will tell you that it's the Cavs are a clear 1, the Raptors are a clear 2, and it's everybody else. I say that's what happened last year, and I'm not buying that shit because I watched the playoffs and I watched how the Cavs manhandled the Raptors when they felt like it. They didn't really – it felt like they just didn't show up in Toronto. I really feel that they gave them those 2 games. and not necessarily not that they said, okay, let's let these guys win, but I just don't think they were there mentally. I think the first 2 games went so well that in their head they were like, oh yeah, we got this. And because even in Game 6 was in Toronto, and that didn't seem to matter.
Nope.
So I don't think they're at that level that people want to anoint them. We all watched Lowry and DeRozan just fall apart, and it wasn't even they didn't have a great series before that either. It wasn't just the conference finals that they struggled. So I think, being biased as I am here, I feel like the Pacers have made that move where as long as the guys that they've brought in are the same guys that they were last season, I don't see why the Pacers can't be that number 2 this year that sort of separates themselves from the pack but still won't touch the Cavs.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. I mean, I think, call me crazy, I think maybe Jeff Teague will be an upgrade over George Hill.
I think he's absolutely an upgrade, and I love George Hill.
You got Al Jefferson coming off the bench as a 6th man there.
But why? Who are you seeing that? So that's the plan there? They're going to bring Al Jefferson off the bench?
I think so. I believe so, because I'm just looking at a depth chart right now. I mean, dude, it's the off season, so it could change. They have Miles Turner, starting at the center right now.
No, and that I'm cool with. Who are they starting at the power forward?
Thaddeus Young.
They're gonna see. I would have done it the other way, and to be real with you, the way I would do it, although having one of them off the bench provides a lot of depth, I would go Paul George at the 2, Thaddeus Young at the small forward where he used to play, and then Miles Turner at the power forward because he's not that big, and then start Fat Al at the center. And to me, that's a starting 5. I mean, just think about that, dude. They have a 6'10" shooting guard and a 6'9" small forward. Like they could almost play the 2-3 all night long. Just play some defense, really.
No, you actually got to start Rakeem Christmas at the power forward there, man.
Oh my.
That's a joke.
Okay. I was like, please tell me you're joking. You didn't really just see that somewhere.
No, I just pulled that one. I was gonna say George's Niag, but I can't fucking pronounce it.
I was gonna say that was fantastic. So yeah, I think the Pacers will win that division. When this offseason finally wraps up, I really want to. I know it'll be way ahead of, not necessarily when the offseason wraps up, but just here in the next month or so as things start to settle. I really want to do a preseason show with you and Sean and DeJean, maybe bring one more into that panel. But one last thing, I'm done. We're done here with the sports for a second, just because I know we have plans to have you on our other show, and I want to just talk about that for 1 second, sort of get the buzz rolling. We had Lou was out sick this weekend, so we missed out on our bad dinner guests, but I'm really looking forward to it because we're going to be talking about Waco and Ruby Ridge.
Is there I got a question for you.
Okay.
So I assume the plan, for me to come out not this weekend because I got moved this weekend.
Well, hang on. We're still broadcasting here.
Yes, I know. I just was, want to give the viewers a little bit of or the listeners, excuse me, to have them come back down the road. Give them a little hook so they'll reel right in.
Oh, that's where you were going with that? I thought you were about to start wanting to talk shop, and I'm like, oh no, man, we can work out the details off the phone. That's where I was trying to get at with Sean earlier. When he's like, yeah, call me later, man. I'm like, yeah, I will. We're recording right now. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, now I don't know if this will make sense, but I was just like, what if we, do instead of, obviously it'll still be on Google Plus here, but, wait till we can maybe do live.
So, okay, yeah, I would love to do it live with you. So, We'll work on that because we've
Okay.
got to figure out. Maybe there's another topic we can do that one for. You and I will touch base. So just the
Yep.
important thing, folks, is that Bad Dinner Guests will be back on Sunday night. We may or may not have Nathan with us, but here coming up soon, we're going to be talking about Waco and Ruby Ridge and why those things and the events that happened there are pertinent today. And we will follow that up. The following episode will be about the bombing of the Murrah building, which many of us, at least in our age, don't know because,
Mhm.
for instance, I was 7 when this happened. This was a big precursor to the world we live in today. A lot of the legislation that was passed after the Oklahoma City bombing has essentially morphed into the Patriot Act, and it affects us today. And the term domestic terrorism exists because of Tim McVeigh. So the plan is all 3 of these events are connected. Ruby Ridge and Waco happened really, really closely together, and we're going to try to attack the 2 of those as not as one thing. They are very different, but they have some similarities. For instance, the sniper that killed Vicky Weaver was also at the Waco siege. So you have little stories of major screw-ups by the same guy, stuff like that. But I don't want to dive too far into that. You guys didn't come here for that. But for those of you listening that have an interest, we're going to be kind of breaking down some events in American history that those of us millennials are on that millennial gap were just too young to really pay any attention to. But now that we're adults and now we're look at the world around us and wonder how the hell did it get to this point? Well, you need to start a good 20, even 30 years back and sort of follow along and connect the dots to figure any of that stuff out. So that's a conversation I really look forward to. Nathan, I really enjoyed this conversation with you.
Oh yeah.
I always love it when you come on, man. We'll have to make a plan for you to come back soon, all right?
Okay.
All right, well, nighty-night to all you. Thanks for joining us on Balls Deep, the Bad Dinner Guest channel. We'll see you real soon.